Watching Jack Nicklaus on television at the 1971 Masters was also inspiring for a 12-year-old English boy. His name, Nick Faldo.
I asked my parents the next day and I said, I'll try this golf. And we didn't know anything about it. So we went down to the golf course, in Garden City, and booked half a dozen lessons that day. And I started the following day, and that was really it.
It was a mere 8 years before Faldo was playing in the Masters, but another 10 before he made his mark in 1989 with the longest putt ever recorded here in the second hole, putting him in contention. When poor weather forced the third round to be finished Sunday morning, Faldo struggled with his putting. Back at his hotel between rounds, he made a crucial decision.
And that's when I swapped putters and went out and holed everything. I just putted like you can't believe on that final day.
He likes it. Wonderful putt.
I was holding putts from all over the place. Those were some of the greatest putts I've ever holed.
And when the leader Scott Hoch missed a short putt on the 17th, he joined Faldo in a playoff. Starting at the 10th, Faldo hit his approach shot into the bunker and could only make a bogey 5. Hoch was left with a 2-foot putt for a par and a win.
I remember saying, I can still win this, but it doesn't look very good right now.
What can I tell you? What can I tell you?
Twice now Hoch had let Faldo off the hook, and as they moved on to the 11th in fading light, Faldo had the chance to make him pay.
That was the sweetest putt I've ever hit in my life.
Good speed. Oh, what a way to do it.
For those few moments, as you saw my face, I couldn't believe it.
It was a heartbreaking moment for Scott Hoch, but for Englishman Nick Faldo, winning the Masters would mean keeping the title in Britain and receiving his coveted green jacket from fellow Brit Sandy Lyle.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you.
Returning as champion to the pre-tournament dinner the following year, little did Nick Faldo realise that 4 days later, he would again be tied for the lead after the final round. His playoff opponent Ray Floyd, who had tied Nicklaus's record score when winning in 1976, made the error which let in Faldo again. Another victory on the 11th green, and Faldo became the only golfer other than Jack Nicklaus to successfully defend his title. In 1991, yet another Briton led the way in the final round, Ian Woosnam from Wales.
I was very nervous, although I was still ahead by 3. And I thought, well, this is what you've watched on the TV, you know what's going to happen. The back 9 is going to be always something happens on it.
It did. Woosnam drove into the creek at 13 and was in a 3-way tie for the lead with Tom Watson and Jose Maria Olazabal when he reached the 18th.
I just aimed it down the middle and hit it as hard as I could. It was a massive hit. I carried straight over the top of the traps and, that was the safest place to go.
With Olazabal making bogey and Watson bunkered, the door was open, but Woosnam was having troubles of his own.
We could not move the crowd. So in the end, I said, how far is it? And he says, well, I think it's 146. And I sort of picked up a line and hit it. And I was surprised to see how far right it was. I actually thought it was up on the green. I didn't think it was there. And I thought the best thing to do is just try and putt it. If I can get it within 6 foot, it's a good putt. All of a sudden, this is your big chance, and this is what you've been dreaming about all your life. I was very nervous, but with confidence as well. I knew if I'd missed a putt, I was going to be in a playoff, and I think that made it easier for me.
Yes. Yes, what a man. What a man. Terrific stuff.
To actually win a major tournament, to walk away with a green jacket has been a great feat for me. Even when I can't play, I'm going to come back every year and sit outside and just soak up the atmosphere. I think this is one of the best.
This is the 12th hole, par 3. It's the shortest hole in the course. As you can see, it's a beautiful hole, but there's danger everywhere. A swirling wind makes good club selection imperative because you've got water and sand protecting a very small target. During Masters Week, the pros, they'll be happy to make 3 and go to 13.
It's probably the most exciting
par 3 that I know in the game of golf.
Sometimes the wind switch, and then there's a big problem.
It'd be like standing out at 120 yards and trying to fly a golf ball maybe on a king-size bed.
It's the only hole where the caddies pray.
I would love to wait till every player comes up there and just take his blood pressure as he arrives on that tee.
It's the most tight shot there is on the whole golf course.
You can't win the tournament at number 12, but you can lose it at number 12.
But in 1992, after heavy rain had softened the ground, an extraordinary event occurred. The hole actually came to the rescue of the tournament leader. In the final round, Fred Couples was leading by 2. His tee shot at the 12th looked to be struggling to reach the green and came up short. Amazingly though, it stuck to the bank and refused to roll back into the water. Couples took full advantage, made a great recovery and saved his par. He proceeded to retain his lead and win his first Masters. Normal service for Europe was resumed the next year. German Bernhard Langer won his second green jacket in 1993. Spaniard Jose Maria Olazabal won his first in 1994.